Aye.
Pardon. There's a discussion after the second, before you go to all approve. I have a question on the agenda.
Okay.
The closed session, item B.
What would your question be, Mary?
My question would be, why is item B in the closed session, the part that deals with the structure of compensation?
Because all of it, compensation inclusive, is confidential.
Where do you find that to be the case? It's a structure, it is not personal compensation, it is a structure for the entire school.
The purpose of the closed session is to discuss compensation increases with the board, which can include evaluative information. These are the statutes that are relative to that. The structure in and of itself is not confidential and can be shared publicly as well, but it's a component of information that would be shared in that closed.
Right,
So
but
that's just adding transparency to what the board would be looking at in the closed.
I would think that I think part B should be in the open session.
Part B really provides the fact that you're going to be speaking about teacher compensation in the closed session.
The part that talks about the structure and an additional pay, supplemental pay as a structure for the entire Pewaukee School District.
That's about specific people.
No. Part B, you can read it out.
In accordance with Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, discussion of the potential action concerning the teacher compensation system for 26-27 contract year that will provide supplemental pay for all regular full-time and regular part-time professional employees employed by the district, including but not limited to certified full and part-time teachers as defined.
Right, that's everybody, and that's a system. And the system can be talked in open. I think you just said that, Mike. So I would request that be put into the open session.
Again, you could tell me if I'm wrong, Mike, that compensation discussion of any kind is confidential. So how could we accomplish what Mary is asking for?
Yeah, the purpose is to to meet the notification requirement for you to have a closed session conversation about teacher compensation. There are things that can be spoken about in public session as well, and you do need to come back into an open to take any action, which is the subsequent listing on the agenda. But there may be things in relation to item B that would be specific to individuals that would be confidential. So that's the purpose of the posting.
Right, but item B is set up as a separate item that we're going to be discussing. That item specifically talks about the system. I am presuming that you are going to present to the board details of that system, nothing to do with any personnel person. So that piece of it, I still think should be in the open, and if you do not want it to be in the open, I would like to know exactly why it's not going to be in the open, and then we can proceed.
Yeah, I've answered to the best of my ability.
Madam President?
I'm just gonna stand on what I said before. Any discussion on compensation is considered confidential. And if we're talking about the compensation system, I think we are talking about the rate of raise increase that we're considering for the year. Again, those portions of conversation, in my mind, should be confidential.
Thank you.
We had a second motion. I asked all in favor. I'll ask any opposed.
Oppose?
Thank you. Next, we have our PTO here.
Pledge.
Oh, sorry. We get to do the pledge first. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem. I got you.
They're as excited
Thank
as
you,
we are.
ladies, for coming tonight. I can't wait to hear about PTO and
Thanks for being
the
here.
great things you've accomplished this year. Please introduce yourselves for those on the
Absolutely.
camera.
My name is Stephanie Freiboth.
And I'm Brianna Schnicke.
This is admittedly one of my favorite meetings of the year because we get to share all of the really cool things we've been doing and give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you have as well. Again, my name is Stephanie Freiboth. I was the president. This is now, you're looking at your new PTO president, and she will be taking over going into the next year. Our mission remains the same. It's to enhance the overall educational, recreational, and social experiences for our kids, our families, and our community. And I think we've done a really nice job this year. We'll get into all the details and all the exciting things. Before we get into that, I do want to share a couple of other board changes. I'm a big fan of succession planning, and I think it's really important that boards have some go on and some come off, and it just feels really natural. You have a lot of knowledge then that you can draw from. And so we've got some people who've moved around to alternate positions and then some new people who've come on board. So we will be welcoming this year Ann Mather, who will be stepping into the secretary role. We will be welcoming Amanda Barnhart, who will be stepping into the Asa Clerk liaison role. And we will also be welcoming Holly Nerbrun into the Horizon liaison role. All of these parents have been volunteers with the events that we've had, and they're very, very excited to share their time and talents with us. We've got one of them runs a nonprofit, so she's very comfortable and clear about volunteering, and then we've got a couple of others who are teachers and some other things, so it's great.
All right, as you can see, this is just kind of a big picture. We raised about $106,000, a little more than that, through fundraising and through some donations we'll talk about later and some other parts of, and as you can see, almost all of that money went right back to the schools. We had 2 sold out events. So we had our holiday kickoff event was sold out, and then our bingo event. And if, for those of you who don't know, our bingo event was actually on was supposed to be on one of the days that there was tornadoes. So we actually had to redo our whole event, switch dates, and we still were able to sell out the event. So, and it's our second year doing it. So that was a great kind of overview. And then if we go to our next slide, you can kind of see more of the breakdowns. So allocations, which we'll get into, we finished paying off the PLE playground is now fully paid for. Teacher grants, and then we had teacher appreciation, 10% back, meaning the classrooms that made the parts of the fundraiser actually got 10% back for their classroom to be used. And then we donated to the Open Door Awards this year. And then you can see on the other side where the money came from. We have our biggest one is the fall fundraiser. That's usually always our biggest money fundraising piece. We had some corporate sponsors, which is new this year, along with, you can see the spring fundraiser, bingo. Share nights is when we went to Culver's. So once a month, families go to Culver's, we get a percentage back of that. And
We
then,
also added, so
Yes,
there were
that's right.
recommendations to add alternate restaurants, so we've done that as well. And I'll have to say that our community is very generous. A lot of times, the share nights are 10% of only what happens when you say you're with a certain organization. They're giving back 10% of all of their funds, and then Curly's waterfront actually gave us a threshold that he said he would give no matter what we earned, and we always earned above that threshold. So we're bringing business into the community too, which I think is really nice.
Absolutely. And then the last one was the Breakfast with Santa, which was our sold out event. That also was a fundraising effort. So this is more of the community engagement and fundraising pieces, just kind of broken down. Some other things that we, as the PTO, are part of is the Custer and Club Cookout, which is the conference night. So we invite clubs to come, parents to see different activities, different sports that the community has to offer. And then we have kind of a cookout area that they can purchase food. And it's a great way for new parents in the district or just even old parents to come, let their kids play on the playground, meet the teachers. We also help with the directories with the high school, helps print them, and then we help distribute them. Some other things on there, National Night Out last year, we worked with the committee there and was participating of collecting canned goods and helping sell raffle tickets for them. And then some other ones this year that we took on was the Scholastic Book Fair. Now, we don't raise any money for that or earn any money for that. It's just something that we take on to help run, and we have parent volunteers so that the school can get, and teachers can get the most back in books. And then here's just some pictures of the different events and, you know, kids participating in the color run. You can see the dunk tank over at ASA, pancake breakfast there.
We'll inform you if you want to get tattooed. That
Yeah.
happened at ASA this year. That was a cool fundraiser. Corporate sponsorship is something new this year that we've really tapped into. I think that there are a lot of organizations within the community who want to give back and serve in a different way, and this allows them to do that in a way that makes sense. As I mentioned, some of the changes that happened on our board, Darren was our secretary. He is very well connected in the community and loves to get out and talk with people, and so he's stepping into a parent leadership role where he's going to be able to take on a lot of that and help us increase those funds as well.
And then you can,
sorry.
that's okay. So you can see our different community partners. So besides Curly's and Culver's, which we do share nights, you can see some other partners in the community who have generously donated to the schools. So school allocations is always one that people in the community don't quite know what an allocation is. So we give a set amount of money once we meet with the principals and kind of see where the need is. So the biggest one is field trips, so we give a set amount so each kid can go towards a field trip and make that cost a little more efficient. And some other ones we've done is bringing in speakers into the schools, so some of that money goes to pay for those speakers, along with those book bags that go home with students at the end of the year that are filled with books, helps replenish those. So some of those are the allocations and where the money goes. And a lot of that, in each year, we meet with the principals to make sure the money is being used correctly and in the right places. And then we have 2 grant cycles where teachers can put in for certain things they may want to enhance their classroom. So as you can see, these are just some of the things we were able to fund. So whiteboard tables, decodable text, classroom libraries, sensory tools, social emotional, bugs for first grade, got bugs this year so that they could do part of their science unit. And then we added large grants. So large grants is anything $1,000 or more. And it's a little more of an intense process where they have to, a bigger form, they have to meet with the principal. It gives them a chance to kind of make sure that what they're asking for isn't already in the budget, or there's not already a grant out there. So some of the things that we were able to do for large grants is indoor climbing ropes over at PLE. And then music equipment, some archery equipment. ASA got some items for their wellness center. So those are usually things that are larger projects. And we do have the teachers come in and present to us what the project is. A lot of them come with like, I'm getting some money here, I just need a little bit more here. And then it gives us an opportunity to ask questions too, and kind of see, is this gonna be used for most students? How will this be incorporated into your curriculum? So those are large grants. And then we got a large check, and then it's a erasable one, so that it's kind of like Publishers Clearinghouse. So they don't find out until they get that big check coming to their classroom.
Try to increase the excitement for the kids. They love to see the balloons and the whole 9 yards. Some upcoming events that we have. So our custard cookout is every year. That event continues to grow, and we get more and more clubs on campus to come. So our goal is to help have parents understand what's available to them. Sometimes those clubs don't open up until spring, but we still want them to know about them. And then the holiday kickoff is on the calendar already. We've got our share nights on the calendar. One of the things that I am grateful for is the partnership with administration throughout every school all the way to the top. So it's been really neat to see how we can get our communication out, because a lot of times parents don't see the PTO separate from the school, and we are a separate entity. So I'm just grateful that you allow us to get on calendars when we can, and you're sending out parent square for us when we need it, so that we can get as many people involved as possible. And that's all.
Any questions?
Question for Mike. Are we live?
Yeah.
Okay. Over here. You guys mentioned that you give 10% back. So my question, Mike, normally I'm accustomed to departments being funded. Are we funding classrooms as individual
Can I clarify the
entities?
10%?
Yeah,
So
go
the 10% is a small amount of money. So when we do the fundraiser, if a class earns, let's say, $100, they would then get 10% of that back to spend on their classroom. So it's more for fun stuff than it is for a classroom item to be used.
It's like
It's
an
part of-
incentive.
It's an incentive.
Yeah, it's part of the fundraiser. So the fundraiser has two components to it. It's usually a monetary component where the class is trying to raise a certain amount of money. And then the other one is usually a non-monetary. So we've done like activity points. So like getting kids out walking, playing sports, and then the parents will log their minutes. So once classrooms achieve all three, which is the third one being just logging in, once classrooms achieve all three, then they get a 10% back. So it's not every classroom getting a 10% back. It's an incentive to really push that fall fundraiser.
Understood. Are we funding, I mean, as a teacher, I'm not thinking I'm sitting there with a budget. I mean, not a budget, but a pot of money. It's usually the department. And I get, I put in my request with the department, and that's what gets funded is the department. But this is how does this work?
John, you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we, at our buildings, we base the building level budget on an allocation per pupil that's incremented on an annual basis based on the number of kids in the building that are projected to be there. Those funds are then allocated to cover all the operational costs, including classroom materials, supplies, components to be used on a larger scale, that the principals has decision-making authority over. This is supplemental, so it may create a small amount that an individual classroom could get based on how much the students participate, but there is a base allocation, not necessarily to department, especially at the elementary level when you're talking about it. It is to the building as a whole, and it's allocated to those targeted areas that are in the strategic plan as the goals for the upcoming year. So it might mean that every classroom gets $500 towards materials and everything to execute that plan, but it could vary from year to year based on where those goals are set by the building leadership team.
So are the teachers making purchases, or is the department making purchases?
At the elementary level, you don't have departmental, you have grade levels. So the grade level will have a budget allocation that they are using to support their activities in the room.
So the teacher's making purchases?
Yeah, with
Yes.
that budget, those teacher teams.
Okay.
Yeah, they have budgets.
Teachers do?
Yep.
Not departments, and not the high school, not the principal level, and the
Correct.
It could vary.
association.
The
associated.
principal decides how he or she is going to allocate their budget, and it might be, like when I was high school principal, the science department got a bigger budget than the English department because science is more expensive.
Right.
And
And
so
I would have.
and then those teachers, just to answer.
The science department would actually disperse,
Yeah.
make the cuts, make the checks.
Yes.
Not the teachers.
The
No.
teachers and the department are the ones that ultimately decide what they need. So it's a
But who cuts the
collaborative.
checks?
Well,
I
they
mean,
put they put the orders in.
Yeah, who puts the
and then
orders
the
in?
business office processes those.
Okay, so it could be the teacher or the department?
The teacher would run those requests through the principal's office. They're all signed off on by the principal's office before they're then released to the business office to send to the vendors.
So this is petty cash? Roughly?
So I feel like we're a little separate.
Yeah.
So our money is just to help supplement maybe things that they couldn't get, like the bugs, for example. Like they can run a science unit without having live bugs. But it was something they really felt about, so they put in a grant to the PTO to say, hey, this would really enhance. And then we as a PTO board, we review the grants, we ask questions of them, and then we decide whether that's a great thing that's going to be educational for them. So I think we're separate from the school. Like our money is separate. We have our own bank account. So ours is we work with the schools and the teachers come with us to grants. So it's a separate money pot, I guess, if that makes sense.
They're a separate, not 501c3. They're a separate not-for-profit. I'm over here, Mary.
Do other entities have the ability to go directly into classrooms like with funds? Or
Well,
just the PTO?
We have really three support groups. We have the PTO. We have Booster Club, which is really primarily high school for athletics and activities, and we have the Friends of Fine Arts, which support our arts programs that raise funds to enhance student experiences and programming. And then John's team works with those organizations in terms of managing the disbursement. But as I've kind of described, so if you're a third grade teacher and you have a special request, there is a grant you can submit to PTO for approval, and they can approve that. Then that works between the PTO dispersing the funds to the business office, who then works with the teacher to whatever that purchase is. Or there could be larger things where, like they've talked about the playground, where they've partnered with the school district and helped offset district costs to replace playground equipment. So it provides enhancements to the programming and opportunities we can offer.
So John, do you know, 3 sources, do you know all the monies that are coming into the school?
Everything that is donated from those groups is
Yes.
coming through
The
our
business
accounting
office?
system.
Perfect, that was my question, thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We really
Yes, thank you very
appreciate
much
all your
for
work and
Thank you
support.
for getting the live bugs. I mean, admittedly, what a much more robust experience to have those live bugs. So that was really great. Sheila, you're not going to be president, but are you going to stay with the PTO and be involved?
I
going for-
am. It's one of the things that I think we're trying to figure out as a group too, is how do we not like get to the end where we can't do any more, but now I can be a super volunteer, Darren can be a super volunteer, and then we've got fresh creativity on the team. So yes, I will be around.
You guys do an awesome job. Thank you so much for
Yes.
your
Thank you.
leadership,
Thank you.
and you're
Thank
willing to
you.
volunteer your time and be here tonight, so
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Yep, have a good evening.
Thank you. Tammy, any comments from citizens?
No comments from citizens.
Thank you.
Salutes recommendations.
Salutes and recognitions.
Oh, yes. I want to start out by saluting someone who's been in this district for many years. He selflessly just worked countless hours to count every penny. And our district is one of very few in this state that didn't go to an operational referendum. And it's because John worked so hard. What a career, right? He's my neighbor. I get to talk to him every day if I want to. But I still, it's melancholy, right? Because you're not going to be here with us. But I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for all the work that you've given to this district, and our kiddos are the benefits of that.
Thanks, Bren.
Add to that too. And yes, he's done great work here in the district over the years with all of our funding and financing and how to save money in lots of different ways. But he also serves in terms of the professionals across the state. So he's been active in the WASBO organization. In fact, we have one of his probably first or earlier on interns, right, or kind of people that are out there. But he also teaches at UW Whitewater in terms of a class down there as well. So, I mean, he's a really generous person in the sense that he gives back to the profession and to develop new people out there as well, so.
And I think that I've often said this, and Sarah, I'm sure you would agree with me, he has left this place in a position of financial security that I think we have so much appreciation for what you've accomplished before you leave. And I'm pretty sure you recognize it and know that you're moving into a position that is not fraught with concerns and issues, and the things that you've done on the campus to make sure that our capital projects are taken care of. I'm just so grateful for all these decisions and plans that you've made.
Thanks.
I would like to chime in too and say I may not understand all the things that you do when it comes to finances, John, but you do such a great job explaining everything. And I appreciate everything that you've taught me about school finance and everything that you've done for the community in this district.
Don't worry, Ashley, I don't understand. I feel bad. No.
Finance is not my area.
But
of
Anthony, you do,
expertise.
right? You got it? You got it all?
John's been trying to fill me in for 11 years. I know much more now than I did then, but there's still room for growth.
Where's the cake?
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you, John.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're supposed to bring it.
No, darn.
Any other salutes from board members? Larry?
Oh, actually, thanks to Stacey getting me involved in going to state tournament kind of events. So I was able to attend the softball state tournament in Madison, was it a week ago in terms of what's there. So the girls softball team was playing in their Division II state championship. They ended up coming in second place. But I mean, the salute is really to the athletes, the girls that were there, the coaches, and quite frankly, the supporting parents and fans that were there. I mean, grandparents are there, lots of family members were there. So it's nice to be recognized in terms of this, even though it was a second place finish, but they still got a nice big trophy and medals and all of those kinds of things that were there. And so that's one recognition that's out there. So I don't know how you're gonna do that, but just some recognition for that. The other one was the boys baseball team. And the boys baseball team, Coach Doberstein was starting back in when my son started playing baseball in like 2000 or 2001. So he's been here for 26 years. And so this is the first time they've actually made it to the state final championship game in 26 years in terms of doing that. So, and that was just really exciting to be there. And again, big turnout in terms of the Pewaukee fans, parents, everybody that's there. And again, our athletes do very, very well, both academically and on the athletic fields as well. And so we've got a very young team for the baseball team, so they have a very, very good chance to go back again next year. Actually, one of the players, the key pitcher is John David Jacobs, Colin Jacobs' son, and one of the other players is a sophomore this year. He's going to be a junior. He's the son of our newest principal at the high school, Lindsay Brenberger. So, and the Brenberger family, so it was Rod and Rose, and then there's John and Pam, and Brian and now Lindsay, and then their son is Hudson in terms of what's there. So it was just a great event up in Appleton, that particular, whatever it was.
Timber Adler Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, last week in terms of what's there. So great event, lots of things going on. So it's just super that we have talented athletes and talented coaches, and they too brought home a very nice big trophy. I don't know if it's in the trophy cases yet or not, but all the medals as well. So it's great for our school, great for the district in terms of what's there. So
I'll help you out, Tammy. So softball, I figured you might get to it first, but Sydney Thompson, Adam Eberly, and Matt Farah as our coaches for softball, and then Mark and Adam Doberstein, baseball coaches, and then I would recognize Jeff Behrens as well, who's just had a tremendous run in the last 8 years with the school district in terms of that ultimate level of success. So.
well, in one of them, he was doing stuff here with the soccer game while the girls were playing somewhere else. I mean,
Well, he was at the state
multiple
championship for softball. Brian Sniff was handling the girls'
Yeah.
sectional final soccer game. So yeah, it was a very busy spring because our kids were doing so well. This is a great problem to have.
Yeah. Admin, do you have anything else?
I do not.
Everybody already thanked John, so, so I would concur with all of that, but I don't have anything else.
Okay. All right. Consent agenda. That contains the minutes from previous meetings, June 8th, business affairs and the regular meeting, correspondence included in your packet. No gifts at this time. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Moving on to new business, intergovernmental cooperation agreement renewal with the village of Pewaukee. John?
We've had a great partnership with the Village of Pewaukee to bring the school resource officers up here on campus and working with us, not just to serve as well, in the title, the resource officers. They've really become a part of the culture of the district and very involved in here. The Village of Pewaukee, the agreement that we had was a second term of the agreement. It expires as of the end of this month. So we've worked with the village to renew that agreement. There's no change in terms from what we've had in place since 2022 on the 4-year. The proposal is for a 5-year extension of the agreement, and I would recommend approval of that extension of that agreement.
I just want to comment. I think the school resource officers are tremendously valuable. Prior to, was that the first year that Julie started, or was Julie before that? Julie's been here longer. Yeah, so we first had, I think it was actually my second year, it was my first or second year we started the program. Julie Wiedenhoeft was our first officer. We didn't have an officer before that. And then I think it was following the terrible incident in Texas that I felt like, I think we need 2 up here. And it's not just that, but I feel like from a safety and security standpoint, as a person, who feels a ton of responsibility for keeping kids safe up here, having those 2 up here give me tremendous comfort. And more importantly, school resource officers, if they're good, and these 2 are really good, they become part of that that fabric of your staff. They engage with kids, they form relationships. You can tell that they love it up here, and it matters to them. They can do the hard stuff that has to be done. They're a tremendous resource that goes beyond just that safety and security standpoint. So I strongly encourage your approval of the extension of the agreement.
Any questions? How about a motion?
Move to approve the Pewaukee School District extension of the resource officer agreement with the Village of Pewaukee through the 2030-31 school year.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain?
Next, E-Achieve, the agreement consideration and possible approval. John?
So the board is presented tonight with an opportunity to create more opportunity for the students who are coming through Pewaukee here. We have students who applied to go to virtual. We've talked about this several times through the open enrollment process, that move to that virtual option for their education through open enrollment. The district pays the district that receives, and we pay the district that receives them the open enrollment amount that goes along with that. Under this consortium, which is a new concept, they can attend one of those virtual options at E-Achieve in Waukesha, and the students would retain they already remain Pewaukee School District resident students for count purposes in that. Here they would retain the ability to participate in extracurricular and co-curricular activities, and also to earn the Pewaukee diploma, much like some of our other alternative options that we have. So they would have our diploma. The benefit to the district is we have a discounted rate on the tuition amount that we pay. So you don't pay the full amount of the open enrollment amount to that district. So by being a member of the consortium, we get a discounted rate on that, saves the district on an annual basis.
How many schools are in the consortium, do you know?
I want to say there were 4 in 25, 26, and then we would be added in this year. The agreement is drafted so that it's a 5-year agreement. The term is up to 5 years, but it's an annual out. So if we do see something that we don't like about the programming, or that we don't feel fits our graduation requirements that we have, we can pull out of the consortium agreement. Then you would just return back to having standard open enrollment for students who go.
And I think, and correct me if I have any of this wrong, I mean, it literally obligates us to nothing, right? Because we're not obligated to put kids in the program. We already have kids who are open enrolling out of our system to go to this program or other virtual. So this is really just a net positive for us, because it's a positive from a revenue standpoint, and it is a positive that we get to provide. Students are determined to pursue this option. We don't currently have that option. It allows us to have that avenue, allows us to keep students. They can work towards a Pewaukee diploma. They continue to be part of our school system, from an extracurricular standpoint. So I really see no downside to this agreement.
Will they be in the building? No. Okay.
This is all online?
This is virtual. This is a virtual school that it runs from the school district of Waukesha.
Runs very similar to an open enrollment virtual setting, where you could have partial, part-time enrollment or full-time enrollment. Follows a lot of the same structure.
They can do that now, correct?
Right through open enrollment.
Okay, and they could do E-Achieve now also?
Correct.
Okay. What is it you need the board to approve?
Participation in the consortium, the agreement that is attached here, to participate as a consortium, because the students can participate in open enrollment as they are right now, but then their status as a student moves to e-achieve. So they don't have the option of participation in our extracurricular, co-curricular, or to get the diploma from us, they would get a e-achieve diploma.
Do we have any interest of numbers of students?
We had looked through current students that are open enrolled out, and not just to eAchieve, but I think a couple other virtual programs that are attached to some other districts, and I think we got to like 30. It was around 30. So the thought would be that the students that are currently at eAchieve could remain and then come back and be Pewaukee School District students again.
It's the e-achieve curriculum?
It's Waukesha's approved curriculum.
But we can-
E-achieve is Waukesha's, is
It's a
Waukesha's
charter of
curriculum.
Waukesha School District.
But to your,
Thank you.
just a little bit of a clarification, they have to meet, we stipulated that they would have to meet our graduation requirements, so they would have to have, from a credit perspective, because of our block schedule, for example, it's 28 credits here. So this, those requirements would apply to students through this virtual program.
And you saying it's nothing out for us? No change in the budget?
No, it generates savings to us.
Okay. Thank you.
I move to approve the Pewaukee School District participation in the eAchieve Academy Consortium program beginning in the 2026-27 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, our employee handbook and addendums.
So you have copies of the employee handbook and the addendums along with the crosswalk of some of the changes that are in there. Broadly, the changes that we're recommending in here, we have some language in the addendums that is specific to some legacy language that was in there about post-employment benefits that are now not available to staff anymore. So we've removed, that's the largest portion of it. We also clarified some of the language as it comes to some of the federal regulations like FSA limits for contribution, and just stated in there that the limits will match what the IRS maximums are. Rather than changing it every year and updating the dollar amount in the handbooks, we align it with the maximums in there. One change in compensation that was included, two of them. One that was included in the handbook in the addendum for the teachers is our curriculum rate of pay. I don't believe it's changed since I started or shortly after I started. So that is being increased from $22 an hour to $25 an hour. That applies to a lot of supplemental work that's being done in curriculum teams or curriculum outside of their regular work responsibilities. The other one has to do with just an extracurricular responsibility that's here. We have FBLA. The schedule that's in the addendums is it's a vestige of the old contract where we identified specific clubs and activities where the engagement level required to successfully run those clubs is higher than what the standard base contract rate is. And a base contract is typically like 2%. At one point, FBLA was taught as a class in the high school, and so there was no contract associated with it. It's not a class any longer, it's an extracurricular, so we added that back into the extracurricular schedule with an appropriate rate associated with it, so it's comparable to other activities that are engaged in. And then each of the other addendums pretty much follow that same structure with the changes.
Is the $22 you were speaking of for curriculum, is that a supplemental?
It's an additional pay. It is a time-carded rate.
Supplemental to the salary?
Yeah,
Okay. So we're discussing the supplemental structure
that's,
coming up, understood. But this is already in the handbook, so would we not wait until we've had that discussion? Where are we with that?
We're not discussing the hourly rate for additional hours as part of the closed session. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about salary increases and things related to the career compensation model that governs the salaries.
Supplemental pay in the context of what you're using it as refers to a very specific statutory language, and that's requires when you cost a settlement, when you're bargaining, the base rate of CPIU, the Consumer Price Index Urban, is set, and that's the only rate you can that you can negotiate to in a bargaining setting. Anything beyond that is considered supplemental pay. It's part of a package that is delivered to the staff members, and that's what you're going to be talking about in closed session, not the structure of the system or the supplemental differences in there. You're going to be talking about what is that package and what is the board going to award as a compensation package for next year.
So this piece, where does curriculum come into that, that system you just described? Pay for
There's
curriculum.
additional compensations that are available, anytime, like your curriculum rate, your substitute pay rate. If somebody is giving up their prep to fill in for a classroom, that curriculum rate applies there. The other pay categories, any extracurricular pay, if they're coaching a sport or they're advising for a club, those are all additional compensation, compensatory assignments.
Supplemental as it's being discussed in the upcoming, that's annual? On an annual basis, it's not piecemeal like this? Yeah, go ahead.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve the employee handbook and addendums as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain?
Next, on to personnel issues, and we have 3 hires.
Yes. So we have an English teaching position at the high school. Then we have 2 administrative hires. So both, and some of these things were done pretty quickly. So I want to recognize Brian Siegel and Brian Sniff in particular for the work that they did getting us staffed on that administrative side. Both Rebecca and Lindsay wanted to be here tonight, but big surprise, Lindsay's son is in the finals of a baseball tournament in Iowa, so she can't be here, and I know Rebecca had another obligation, and of course, we just offered the position to her on Friday, so it's not like they had a lot of time to plan to be here tonight, but they both are hoping to come to a future meeting or to see you at some of the events in August so that you can meet them in person. But I would seek your approval of Thomas Forkey as our new English teacher position. He'd be replacing Nicole Marugi. Then I would seek your approval of Rebecca Brockman as our new associate principal at Pewaukee Lake, who would be replacing Beth Ingersoll. And then for Lindsay Brumberger, who would be associate principal at PHS, replacing Jane Matter, who, as you know, is taking over at Asa Clerk.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Before we go, just one other thing. Anthony, would you just mind saying, because Lindsay Bremberger is a graduate of Pewaukee, what did she say about coming back here?
I don't know if it's what she said, but I think, and Mike was there with me, I think that during the interview process, I mean, you could feel the passion that she has for the Pewaukee community, the Pewaukee School District, and she said she wanted to come home. And they would, she's passionate about Pewaukee, so that was noticeable.
And she's been teaching in Muskego.
Instructional
Over there,
coach.
down
Yeah,
Yes.
she's an instructional
Did
coach.
she wear a t-shirt that said "Once a Pirate"?
No, but she did quote her old social studies teacher
Yes.
in the interview, so that was smooth. I said, wow, something stuck. Look at that.
Oh, that's great.
In the interview.
There was a good run of former students that had.
I have a
USA.
lot of former students that are teaching here now. It's, in spite of
It's
their experience with me in the
Yeah.
classroom, they made it through and are successful teachers.
All right, so we have a motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain?
Next, board goals and operations. Upcoming activities, July 10th and 11th is the WASB Summer Learning Symposium in Stevens Point. I cannot make it this year, but I would say it's a very valuable educational experience. Larry,
Yeah.
you're going? Yeah. You can still sign up for that, and if you would like to register, Tammy can help you with that. Monday, July 20th is our only board meeting in July. That's a 6 p.m. business affairs and a 7 p.m. regular board meeting. The AI Summit,
Brent, I don't wanna interrupt you, but that, just to point out, that's the date we changed. So
Yes.
Travis, I know you guys were not here, just so you know, it changed.
Yes.
It was the 13th.
and
and
then
we
it was the
moved to
13th, when we
20th.
changed
Just
it.
to make sure that you change your calendar.
Great. Thank you, Stacey. Then there's the AI Summit at WCTC. I'm registered to go. I don't know if anyone else is. Again, I think it really showcases our talent here at Pewaukee, but it's always such valuable information that I glean when I go through these AI summits. If you have not registered, Tammy, you can help them with that. All right, thank you. Then,
It's, the date on that is August 4th. I don't see a date listed. on
yeah,
the
I don't
packet.
either,
So-
but you're right, it is August fourth
August
at
4th.
WCTC. Monday, August 17th is our annual meeting. It starts, with the 6 p.m. Business Affairs Committee, 6:30 board meeting, very short one, followed by that budget hearing at 7, and then the annual meeting at 7:30, and that is in the high school auditorium. Then, also that day in the morning, one of my favorite activities, our new teacher orientation. And it is where the board members and administration get to have breakfast with our new teachers. I just think it's a great way to get to know these individuals before they start the new school year. Also, let's see, what else? I think that's it. I do want to say that at 7:15 that morning, we always hold in case we need to do some last minute approvals. Mike always keeps us apprised on that, so we'll just keep you informed if we need you to come in early that morning. Otherwise, that's it. So, what about legislative update?
Not a whole lot to talk about. Stacey and I had our individual meeting today, and she asked about, was there any news out of the state with the compromise budget bill? I've heard nothing since there was a little bit in the media a couple weeks ago about maybe some reconsideration of that, but it's pretty quiet at this point.
So we kind of think that's fallen by the wayside then.
I'm thinking it's probably dead in the water, because I haven't heard anything. I think everybody's gonna be steaming into campaign time.
Election, yeah.
Would be my guess.
Okay, unfortunate. All right. Larry, do you have anything on that?
No, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like floating around out there, but it's likely not to be approved, so.
Okay, thank you. Tammy, do we have any comments from citizens at all?
No comments from citizens.
Well, then it is time for us to go into closed session, to look at, compensation for our staff. Can I get a motion for us to go into closed session?
Move to go into closed session in accordance, let's see, with all of the different statutes, the 19.85, paren 1, paren C, and then all of the ones that are there, so.
Okay?
Second.
Thank you, and this requires a roll call vote. Mary?
No,
Travis?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Ashley?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Yes.
Matt? Larry?
Yes.
Thank you. Then we'll go into closed section.
Come on in, Sarah. You get to join us.
actually have to take another, motion. I will call us back, to open session. Could I get a motion to resume open session?
So moved?
You just did.
Didn't we do that?
Yeah, we just
Well,
did it.
But we didn't
But-
do it here?
You
We
did it,
didn't-
well, if you did it in closed, you're fine.
Are we okay? We
We
don't
did it.
have to do it again?
Okay.
You can just
I
take the
move to
motion.
adjourn. Can I do that?
You gotta take motions on
Oh, we have to
the,
We
vote,
have to
oh,
take
sorry,
motions
there
on
it
the
is.
actions
Oh,
that
it
we
was in
took.
that small print at the top, the page.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So first,
you should probably do one for
I move to approve the teacher compensation system as presented for the 2026-27 contract year that will provide supplemental pay for all regular, full-time, and regular part-time professional employees employed by the district, including but not limited to certified full and part-time teachers as defined.
can I get a that's a
Second.
motion, I'll take, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain?
And, can I get a motion on the second point there?
Move to approve the compensation for custodians, nurses, food service, paraprofessionals, and secretaries for the 2026-27 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain?
Thirdly,
Move to approve the district administrator individual contract for the 2026-28 contract term and approve compensation.
but we aren't gonna say that out loud.
It's in here just like that, like,
Yeah, this is just as it is.
as it is.
yeah, okay,
Okay,
so I moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, did I miss one?
Yeah, the first one.
Sorry.
That's administrator confidential support.
Move to approve the individual administrators' contracts for the 2026-28 contract term and approve administrator and confidential support staff compensation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain?
All right, then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
You get a vote on the, superintendent?
We
We
did
just
that.
did.
That was the,
Right, and you said you added something on it? Was there a vote before you added that? You said you missed one, right?
I missed one and then I went and we did it.
That was,
Okay,
Which was the administrator.
so
I
what
just-
we voted on before,
The one that I missed was the last one that I did.
the administrators and the
Administrative and
confidential
confidential support staff
the one before that,
was the district
District.
administrator, superintendent.
right, abstain.
Okay, thank you. Then I will take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.